I'm not that type. I'm not that personality type. I could never do what you do. I don't want to annoy all of my friends. I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to sell anything. I can't see myself doing it. I can't see myself doing it, right? You're blind to it. I don't do door-to-door selling, which of course we don't do. I make a lot of money. I don't need to do this. I don't like to talk to people, right? So if we go back to our concepts here, with I'm not that type, number one, you can act surprised, like, really? You're not that type? Understand, is it real that they're not the type of person that can succeed in network marketing? It's not real. They might think it's real. They might think network marketing are people because people have been lazy and just attacking everybody in the world. What are they really saying? What they're really saying is, I think I would feel uncomfortable in network marketing. If you can help me see how I could do this with my personality and not feeling uncomfortable, then you'd have my attention. That's what they're really saying. Show me how I can do this without having to become a different type of a person, right? So, we go to our concepts. With this objection, I'm not that type of person. First of all, relate to them. Listen, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Or if you're a completely different personality type, you could tell somebody else's story. I know how you feel. A lot of people in my business felt the same way originally. But let me tell you what they found, right? Pardon me. Then you can tell a story. If it's your story, you can say, when I first got involved, I thought that I had to bother everybody. I thought I had to do all this stuff, but I found out that that wasn't the case at all. All I had to do was share this product and service in a way that the company made it easy for me to do. People loved it. They loved using the product. Some of them became distributors in the business, and some of them started growing their own network marketing business, and it surprised me that I could be myself and still find a way to create extra cash flow for my family. Or tell a story about somebody else. So, and then you could ask a question. So, I know how you feel. I felt the same way. Relate. Tell stories, yours or others, and then ask questions. So let me ask you this. If I could show you how you can do this with your personality, and how lots of other people are doing this with their personality in a way that did not make them feel uncomfortable. They did not feel like they had to be a super salesperson. They did not feel like they had to know all the answers to every question. If I could show you how that worked for all of these people, they're able to create extra cash flow in their lives. If I could show you that, would you be willing to take the next step and learn a little bit more? You know, if I could show you this, would you listen? Right? So, our big three here, I'm not that type. You're going to relate to them, you're going to tell stories, you're going to ask questions. You can end that question, the last question, with, if I, would you? If I could show you how to do this, would you be willing to do that? Or you can ask a question to clarify. When they say, you know, I'm not a salesperson, you can ask a question, do you think you have to be a super salesperson in order to be able to succeed in this type of business? And well, they say, well, yeah, that's what I think. Well, would it surprise you to know that you don't have to be a super salesperson and most of the top successful people aren't super salespeople? Would that surprise you? Well, yeah, I guess it would. Well, let me tell you a couple stories, because guess what? I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way. Here's what happened with me. See what I mean? Back to the three. All right, we're going to take a break, come right back. All right, so you're starting to get the theme here. The theme being, relate to people, tell stories, ask questions, or ask questions, tell stories, relate to people, or tell stories, relate to people, ask questions. You pick the order, it doesn't matter. But can you see how those three concepts can work in every single environment? So they say they're not that type of person. Let's go back to the next question. Don't have the time. I'm really busy. So, is that real? Is it real? Question number one. Not really. It's not. What are they really saying? They're saying you haven't shown me enough to justify my time. Right? So, you might want to ask them, you can go back to these three things and say, well, let me ask you a question about I don't have time. Are you just not interested, or do you really not have time? Explain to me what no time looks like. Share that with me. When you say no time, are you saying you don't have time for 20, 30, 40 hours, or are you saying you don't have time for 5 or 10 hours? Get some clarity on exactly what they're saying when they say they don't have time. Okay, so you can ask for clarity, or you can relate to them first. I like relating. So listen, I get it. Who isn't busy? Everybody's busy right now. In life, I'm busy, you're busy, everybody's running around trying to take care of everybody, dealing with all the different issues of our life. Who has lots of extra time? I get it. I totally understand. I know how you feel. But I felt the same way. When I first looked at this, I didn't think I had the time either. But let me tell you what I found. I realized that I was just going through the motions. That I was filling my time with stuff that wasn't bringing me in the direction of my dreams, of my future. I had to create a way to create additional cash flow for my life or for my family, or I was always going to deal with this credit card debt. I was never going to be able to take care of the kids' education when they went on to college. I was never going to be able to go on the vacations that I wanted to go on. So you know what I did? I took a hard look at my life, and I realized, you know what, I could watch a little less TV. You know what, I could be a little bit more efficient with my time. And I carved out 10 hours a week. And I used that 10 hours to invest in my future for my family. It was one of the best decisions I ever made. So let me ask you a question. If you really believed that you could create some additional cash flow for your family and have some additional choices for your life by carving out 10 hours a week, and that was real, do you think you could find those 10 hours? And they say, well, yeah, and I probably could. Because how are you going to say no to that? You say, well, listen, if I could show you how to start building a business working just 10 hours a week of your choosing, flexible hours, would you be ready to go to the next step? Well, sure, yeah, I'm ready to go to the next step. All right, fantastic. And you can move forward. Okay? So time comes back to these three things. Relate to them, I know how you feel, tell your story, personal story, tell other people's stories, and then ask them some questions. If they say, I don't have the money, some people try to win that argument. Well, how long do you want to have that be the case in your life? How long do you want to be embarrassed and have to say that? Really? You want to say that? Man, you better have a good relationship with them, and they better respect you like crazy. If you're a millionaire mentor, you can say that. You can say that to them. But if somebody told me, how long you want to be embarrassed and not be able to say that you have the money to be able to join a business like this, I'd say heck with you and walk away. Now, it would bother me and make me think about it, but I wouldn't be happy. I might join the business, but I wouldn't join you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you don't want to embarrass somebody. So, how do you build a bridge with a person, relate to them? The best way to do it is say, listen, you know what I realized? No matter where you are in this world, everybody has just about the same amount at the end of the month. You know what I mean? The person making 6 figures a year, they have more stuff, but they don't have any extra money. The person makes $50,000 a year, they don't have a lot of extra money. People making $20,000 a year, they don't have a lot of extra money. People making $250,000 a year, they don't have a lot of extra money. They find a way for it to go someplace. But when I first looked at this, I didn't think I had the money either. But I realized that if I didn't change something, then my life wasn't going to change. And this wasn't like some huge, massive investment. This is, $500, $1,000. that I could figure out. And then I could go to work to be able to get that money back as quickly as possible and then start making a profit. And if I didn't do something like this, then I was going to be kicking myself for the rest of my life because, you know what? I deserve more than I have right now. But I can't expect things to get better unless I'm willing to take a little bit of risk and bet on me. So that's what I decided to do. I decided to bet on me. So let me ask you a question. If I could show you how to quickly get a return of your investment in starting your own business, and then fairly quickly get a return on your investment, move into cash flow, move into profitability, and I can show you how to do that with the time that you have available, you think you can find the money? What are they going to say? They're going to say, well, yeah, I probably could find the money. If you could show me that, I could probably find the money. All right, fantastic. Well, let's move on to the next step. See, understand that, is it real on the money? No, it's not real. Is it real on the time? No, it's not real. I'm not the type? Is that real? No, it's not real. Network marketing is filled with people that were not the type. Filled with people that didn't have the time. Filled with people who didn't have the money. And then they went from being blind to being able to see because someone had these concepts of relating to the prospect, telling stories, asking questions, and guiding a person professionally to a result that they want. See what I'm saying? Okay. So I'm going to go through all 59 and see where they stand, okay? I'm not that personality type. I can never do what you do. We got that one. I don't want to annoy all of my friends. That's a limiting belief in what? Network marketing. They believe that you have to bother the world. Well, is that true? Do you have to bother the world? Those of us in network marketing know that of course that's not true. We're going to share a product or a service that we believe in. People will either say yes to that product or service or they'll say no to that product or service. Here in Network Marketing Pro, we're trying to do everything we can so people do it right and they don't annoy their friends and family. So do you have to bother everyone? No. So when they say, I don't want to annoy my friends, what are you going to do? I get it. I understand. I thought that's what you had to do too inside of network marketing. But here's what I found out. It's not that at all. It's evolved completely. We have tools to share our products and services. We let people sample. We let people try. We tell people stories. And people say yes or they say no, but we're not there to bother them all the time. So let me ask you a question. If I could show you that it wasn't about annoying and bothering your friends, and there was a system that you could use to create extra cash flow without jeopardizing your relationships with your friends and with your family, would you be ready to go to the next step? Would you? Okay, fantastic. Let's go to the next step. Then you could show them, here's our system. Here's how we share it with people. Here's how people try the products. Here's how people take a look at the opportunity. It's not about bothering people at all. We're going to teach you how to do that. Here's this book, Go Pro, that'll teach you how to do that without bothering people, right? All right. So that's number 2. I'm not a salesperson, or I don't want to sell anything. I'm not that type. We already talked about that. I can't see myself doing it. So here's the question. I'd be looking for clarity if somebody says, I can't see myself doing it. What can't you see yourself doing? What's this picture you're seeing in your head that's so scary? Well, I can't see myself knocking on door to door. Well, we don't do that. I'm sorry that I led you to that belief that you had to go knocking on doors to sell our products, but that's not what we do. If I could show you how we do that and it was in a way that was comfortable for you, we ready to move forward? Sure, fantastic.